Good Memorial Day, everyone. Our Memorial Day is coming to a close, unfortunately. It's almost my bedtime. And I had a pretty good, productive weekend. Nice car show stuff. The car show was nice. I did a little bit of a smoke show, not a big one, with the truck when I was leaving. Had some little kid there holler at me to do a burnout, and I was like, can't do a burnout. I ain't got much tire left. So I was like, I'll get on a little bit, and I did. And that fucking truck just all over the fucking place. So we did have some fun leaving there, and had a bunch of trouble with the carburetor, which is right there behind me. I put the other one on it, runs great again. Uh, what the hell is that in there? It's something. Looking at something in the grill of my car. Anyway, I took the Chevelle to the barbecue, and I lit them up there. Did a little smoke show up there for them guys when I left, and that was fun. And I want to do a shout out to Bud Bennett, my old buddy with the '66 Chevelle. Um, Very nice car. He does currently have a small block in it, which no big deal. I'm a small block guy because when it comes down to it, that's all I can afford to build. I can't afford to build them big blocks, and I can't even fucking find one that anybody wants to fucking get rid of. And then when you do find one that is an old casting and it needs rebuilt, they want a shitload of money for that cocksucker. And it's like you can't find them. You can find them ones from 1999, which are real shitty casting because they have that Vortec heads on them, and they just have a completely different casting from the generation 1 and 2, and you just can't. You would have way more money in that newer casting than what you would have in the older. Well, yeah, I'd have to say yes, because the casting is different. The heads you would have to buy would be special aluminum heads. And I don't really know if they make them or not. I never checked into it because I had that big block here in an old tool truck I was going to pull out. But then when I did some research on it, it was just not very practical for me to fuck with. So I said, to hell with it. And I went back to the small block. So I have two more small blocks here. I got two trucks up there. I have an 89 Chevy. It's an 89 four-wheel drive. It has a 350 in it. It's the TBI injected motor, which they run really good, except the TBI does not work that good on it. It's like, I don't know, it's like on the top end, it just does not have it. Now on the low end, it's nice. It'll spin the tires, take off, rip and tear. You get up on that high side, man, it just dies. It's just not good. But I found out, I I think it's my spark plugs in the truck. Had somebody in one of them Hyundai Genesis things pass me today. And I opened it up when they got beside me and they still passed me. But that has the V6 with it's like 330 horsepower or something like that. So they outpowered me and they were lighter. So they took me. Not by much. I did get on it, and they really had to get on it to get around me. So not bad for a 260 horse small block Chevy with some low gears behind it. But I think I got some plugs filing in there. I'm going to have to clean up, put back in. So I'm doing all these carburetor swaps on the son of a bitch. Got some of the plugs filed. So I noticed that while it was running, I had my new laser thermometer pointing it on the header tubes. Some of them header tubes was 380 degrees, and some of them was like 200. So there was a big temperature difference. But I think the center ones, I think the reason for that is because they're right real close, and it's always hot there anyway. But there were some inconsistencies in the front tubes and the rear tubes, like 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. They all had different varying temperatures, and they were all in the 2s. And the ones in the centers had consistent temperatures. I guess that'd be 4 and 6 and 3 and 5. So they all had a consistent 387 or degree temperature coming out of there, which is pretty goddamn hot. That's enough to leave the hide off your hand stuck to them when you pull your hand off of the fucking tube. But yeah, and if you know your plugs are filed when you start it for 30 seconds and shut her back down, and then grab the tubes. You grab them with your hands. See which ones are hot, which ones are cold, because they get hot pretty fast. That's a good way to tell if you have filed plugs. Because if they're not, right away, they're filed. But they'll eventually fire, but it takes them a little bit they'll just have an inconsistent cold spark. So you'll have a little miss. I had a little miss in the engine. Plus, I got a header gasket leak on there. When I was going through town, I could hear it ticking. Going down Main Street, I could hear it ticking, reflecting off people's cars and shit. There, I had it out earlier today. I was going to take the Chevelle, but I need to put my air cleaner on it, and I need to change my fuel line around for this dual feed carb. Because I got my inline glass filter on top of the alternator, under the alternator bracket, and it slaps in there and vibrates with the engine. So I don't need that to break and cause a fire. So I'm going to reroute the line, move the filter back. It's past my bedtime. But yeah, I really wanted to shout out to Bud. He's a pretty good guy. He has a lot of nice cars. Probably gonna start running around with his group here before long. I just have to get with him and see when they're going to shows and whether or not I can go or not. Because I can't always go. I can't always plan when you have a young child. You can't always just drop trowel and go. You have to plan for it. So I will be planning, or try to plan, for a few shows. The trouble is, when you go to car clubs, it's the same bullshit over and over. It's the same cars, same club. You can travel this club. I like to crash these places. If I feel like going to one, I'll crash it instead of joining the club. Because you join the club, it just gets boring. Because you're there's a raffle, they call out the number, you're gone. That's it. So it's like, fuck. I didn't win nothing this time. And it's like, it just gets boring. So, and I'm not one to just constantly go to car shows. I mean, they're everywhere around here this summer. There will be a bunch. I like going to the great big ones. I like going to the ones where you don't see a lot of cars that you regularly see on the road. I like to go to those. Those are the ones. Like, the Route 51 cruises. There's another one on Labor Day weekend. Plus, we'll have the Street Rod Roundup on Labor Day weekend. Plus, before Labor Day weekend, we'll have the Frostburg Main Street Cruise, which is one of my favorites because it's just down the road here. And I can get out there. I can get down there and couch up. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I laid around all afternoon to do shit. I'm fucking tired for some reason, yawning like a bitch. But, yeah, I can get down there and grab my lawn chair, sit around, take a video, do some commentary. Yeah. And I got the tattoo. I'm just gonna I had to buy some lotion for it. It's called like Aquaphor or some shit. I got to put that on a couple times a day because it likes to dry out, and you can't let it dry out and scab. Have a big thick retarded scab on there that it'll fuck up your tattoo, I guess. But they said it will scab, but let the scab fall off. So that's what we're going to do. But I will show you all this. If you can see it. Here we go. There it is. There it is. You see it? It's still kind of moist right now, but, you know, I had to put some stuff on it. And I have to clean it in the morning and clean it before I go to bed. So, there we go. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted that tattoo. The guy that did it was pretty good, so he's good at what he does. And I want to show you another thing. I got this wax at the dollar store. Oh, man. Woo. Show it to you here. It's from Simonize. It's ceramic liquid wax, and it's from the dollar store. Some good shit. I tell you, I didn't think that it would be real good, but I rubbed some on the truck here. I'll show you the difference in the sides of the hood. This side, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but this side here had like a haze to it. And this side, of course, they both had a haze to them. But, yeah. You see a little bit of haze up there, but it took it out, and it is just smooth as a baby's ass. It's so nice. And it shined up the side here. I was just dabbling around with it, and it really shined it up nice. I don't remember how much this stuff cost, but I would recommend picking some up if you need some wax. It's a ceramic wax. Of course, I don't know what the fuck the difference is. I even did this. This is spray paint, is all this is. This is Duplicolor Color Match, is what this is. And I had sprayed it silver first, then the powdery looking blue, like my other truck, and then I put some dark over it. I just kind of spritzed it here and there. It turned out pretty nice. But yeah, I did take a buffer to it. But then I rubbed some of this Simonize on. It seemed like it really worked nice. And then I picked up a great big juicy spider somewhere on the back here I didn't see before. I unfolded my towel and he was in there smashed. I was like, oh shit, there's a goddamn spider in there. But yeah, man, you can see it's quite nice. It had a nice shine. That's old acrylic enamel from the fucking 90s. And that's some nice shit. I mean, I got paint mist on it from painting my Chevelle in here. I never covered this thing up. I just left it go. And then I went ahead and buffed it that time. But yeah, this carburetor works pretty nice on this thing. It usually just fires up and goes. Yeah, you can see a nice little sheen to it. Oh, my dog must be hungry. He's out there barking. It's still kind of rough here and there, but that's overspray from something. I don't know. It's hard to say what it's from. But, yeah, this thing needs cleaned up. It's a fucking filthy mess. I got smashed bugs all over it. but we're going to worry about that another time, another day. I put some on the Chevelle. I got some paint mist on the Chevelle here too. It's real rough sounding. I just waxed this portion of it with this stuff, with the Simonize. Back there it's not too bad, but it really gets kind of rough right here. I'm not sure what I did. I must have painted something in here. And must have painted something in here and forgot to cover it up, or didn't think it was going to land on it, and it did anyway. It's really dusty too. Oh my God, there's a gun! Everybody run! Oh. My family of skeletons back here. They all seem like they're kind of content and happy. I had a lot of dust on my deck lid back there, or my speaker deck. But it doesn't matter because the fucking radio quit. It ain't working no more. I don't know if there's a fuse to it. The fuse in the fuse box for it is not blown. I'm kind of wondering if there's an inline fuse. Up under the dash, I have to squeeze my big head up underneath there and see what the fuck's going on. But I hope everybody had a nice, safe Memorial weekend. And I hope y'all honored our fallen for our freedom and thanked a veteran. It's always important to do that because they are the reason we go around and cruise like we do. Because without those fellers fighting for us, what would we be doing? We'd be like the Chinese over there, hiding in our tiny little apartments, smoking cigarettes, wondering if somebody's going to come get us because we had the wrong gender child. And, you know, speaking of that, I heard old Target and old Bud Light, they're taking a beating. They're taking a beating. They're not going to come back from this shit. They fucked up. And I found out why exactly. I'm going to turn this into a bunch of shit here in a minute. But from what I hear, they have a score, like it's kind of like a credit score, but it's a like it's a woke thing. These companies, for some reason, it's like when you're a little kid in elementary school and you get a gold star on your paper because you had 100%. And they have a chart and they was always going to put a gold star next to your name. And they put it on those dates when you had gold stars and there's like gaps when you didn't. These companies, it's the same difference. The thing being woke, this woke shit, is like a score that they all have to keep. And they have to cater to so many people of this, you know, these alphabet people and these woke folks. They have to keep a high score. I'm not sure what the reasoning is for this. I guess it's just something they have to maintain. And I think it's like mainly for leftist type states. I guess it'd be blue states, I guess. Like liberal states. I'm just assuming. But they have some, of course, there's some woke celebrities all mad about it, and they're raving on social media about it, and basically calling all of us that are boycotting Target and Bud Light domestic terrorists. So it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm not going to try and wrap my head around and think about it too hard because it's fucking horseshit. It's so fucking dumb. These CEOs are so out of touch with the average person that their company caters to. You know, you got to sell stuff. We all buy things. We all buy things. We buy beer. We buy cheese. We buy food. We buy, you know, clothes, merchandise. And we do it because, you know, we all need to survive. So that's why we go buy things, because we work and we go out and buy things. Now, they're so out of touch that they think that everybody is jumping on this LGBTQXY, whatever the fuck they are. Everybody thinks that those CEOs think that everybody is woke, is what they think. And when they think shit like that, it just goes to show you how out of touch with reality these people are. Because when you're rich and you have millions and billions of dollars, as your net worth, you are out of touch with the 80% of America. Because you have, well, I want to say 95%. Because probably 80 to 95% of Americans have a job and work and have to do that in order to survive and, feed your family. You have to work. And they think that when you have a weekend off or whatever, that you go to shop at Target to get a woman's bathing suit, and tuck your junk in it. I guess that's what they think. And then they try to do stupid shit like those asshole news anchors back when we were on, they wanted us all to get vaccinated for the corona. They were like, oh, we're going to give you a free cheeseburger and fries from this chain of restaurants, when you show your vaccination card. And they had this one guy on there eating this cheeseburger going, it's so good. All vaccination. So I was like, I would just like to punch that motherfucker in his fucking head. Fucking douchebag, dick-licking bastard. Fuck. Are we all six? Motherfucker. I seen that video the one day. Oh, I wanted to kill that fucking guy. I wanted to drive that burger down his fucking neck and then stomp on his throat. Sorry. That's what I wanted to do to him. See, people, that motherfuckers talking down to everybody like we're all idiots. You got this new generation of little fuckers. They're all 3/4 of them's idiots. But like they say, it is what the fuck it is. There ain't a whole lot you can do about it. But, a lot of that bullshit is their own faults. But anyway, these CEOs just have no idea what we go through to make ends meet, to make a living. They think that you are out there, you're kind of like them. Or they think that you're like this peon idiot, that they think everybody is woke and every man wants to be a woman now. They all think this. And they're all doing it because they're all so money hungry. And their executives and investors are pushing this shit. And now they have a low woke score on their stuff. And they're losing their fucking minds and their stocks plummeting to nothing. So I would advise you to not buy any Target or Anheuser stock. But the thing is, with Anheuser, they're so big. They own so many other companies. They own Kraft. Of course, they own Hunter Douglas. They own, I think, Heinz, too. I'm sure you can look it up and find out what they own, because they own a lot of shit. The thing is, though, if the beer part of it goes out, it goes out. They will still be able to fall back on the food part, because they have so many different companies. They can still stay afloat. But if you find out what they all own, and then if we all quit buying all their shit and go to somebody else, like instead of buying Heinz stuff, buy Hunt's, buy the cheap value brand stuff. You can do that, or you get the picture. But you piss people off enough. It's like you back the tiger in a corner because you're poking him with a stick. He's going to get fucking pissed, and he's going to come after you sooner or later. So, he's going to bite back eventually. And this is what we're all doing. Of course, Budweiser and all the Anheuser-Busch beers I never really cared for. Now, like Busch Light, I drank that years ago. Back when I was a youngster, I drank the shit out of Busch Light. Boy, gave you the shits, though. Next fucking morning, wake up the fucking shits. Because, boy, it was pretty rough passing through you. Then, plus, you ate a bunch of fucking trash after you got liquored up. Your instinct is just to eat. And I get like sheets or something. Christ, I'd get 2 fucking 12 foot, yeah. 2 foot long subs. And I'd cram them down my neck and then go to bed. I used to do that shit. Of course, now I can't do that because I just can't drink like that. I can have a beer or 2 and eat a little bit. I'll eat about once a day. Because if I eat more than once a day, I'm in trouble. It just does not agree with me at all. It's the hells of getting old. But anyway, hopefully everybody had an awesome weekend. And I hope everyone stayed safe and didn't drink any Bud Light and or any other Anheuser shit. Don't buy anything from Target. That's crazy. It's all crazy. I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. I tune in a little too much in my spare time this weekend, and they're just posting videos of it all over the fucking place about it. And it's like, I know what's going on. Like, oh, that guy that thinks he's a woman, for Bud Light, that crazy ass retarded fucker that jumps around like pretending he thinks he's a woman. He was saying on his social media, his TikTok, he was saying that the first time he came out and told his dad that he was gay, his dad was telling him he hoped that he could have had a baby and they could be grandparents. And he goes, oh, well, it won't be, he said something about he was attracted to women, but he was attracted to women with penises. And I was like, what? The guy's he's mental. There's something wrong with the guy. I mean, it's one thing to be gay or be a lesbian, but then to be a guy that thinks he's a woman or thinks he can change into one or that he identifies as a woman because he feels like one, which, I mean, if that toots your horn, whatever. But this guy is completely misled. The information that he has been fed is just fucking retarded. He thinks he can menstruate. He thinks that he can carry a child in his body. He thinks this. And it's because these assholes have pumped that in his fucking head. Telling him that, oh, you're XY chromosome, buddy. You're a man. You cannot get knocked up. You do not have a womb. You do not have a uterus. You don't have ovaries. Maybe if you were on a science fiction movie and an alien shot eggs up your asshole, and then those eggs would kill you anyway, according to the movies. What the fuck, man? Oh, got a little bit of food shrapnel on me. I was eating hardcore again. But anyway, the guy is just... These people were so delusional. You have these women, they're lesbians, and they think, oh, I'm trapped in a man. Oh, no, I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. Fine. If that's what you think, then by all means. But don't come up to me and tell me that a man can have a fucking menstrual cycle. Because if you're bleeding down there, there's something wrong. You're either passing a fucking kidney stone or you got fucking gonorrhea or some shit. You got some fucked up, retarded fucking STD or some kind. Fuck me, man. What the hell? I mean, if that's what you think, if you think that you're a man trapped in a woman's body or vice versa, I mean, if that's how you feel, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell them that they're wrong, and I'm not going to sit here and tell them that they're right, and I'm not going to sit here and bitch about it and say that, you're the Antichrist. I don't care. I just wish these companies would stop driving this shit down our throats. Because it's like you got this group of people. This LGBTQ thing, it is just like the Black Lives Matter thing. There's some asshole sitting at the top that made this shit up, that made up this organization. Not the fact that black lives don't matter. I'm saying that this is a money-making scam that they have developed, and they are using these people as traction to make things happen for themselves. That one woman that's the head of the Black Lives Matter thing, she is a delusional, greedy, scamming bitch, and she has been called out by about every fucking race that there is because they found out the bullshit. She has taken this money that they gave to this organization and she has enriched herself with it. But our politicians do the same thing, but it's handed to them by lobbyists. That's the difference. These African American people are giving this woman money because they have they believe that there's a cause for the hopes of them gaining traction in let me rephrase this. This woman was trying to give these African American folks some hope, and that things were going to get better for them if they gave her this money. Like this organization was going to go to DC and fight for them to have like things like reparations paid to them for slavery and all this other stuff. And all it was just a half-assed organization to enrich herself with, is all it is. It's been proven. I think they're even going to prosecute her for it. And this LGBTQ thing, that is another bunch of shit. Whoever is at the head of this, it's going to come to light. It'll come to fruition one day. Soon. Because we're starting to blow the lid off this horse shit. And what's going to happen is they're going to find out who's ahead of this bullshit, and they're going to be prosecuted as well, because they're using this to they're using these people to line their pockets with, is what they're doing. And I mean, if you're going to do this, you're going to get caught sooner or later. That's all this is. This is just something that all of a sudden came out of the blue one day. And now all of a sudden, oh, I'm woke. That's bullshit. You're not. No. We're not going to keep this up. We need to get rid of this shit. This doesn't need to happen. We can't keep this up. I mean, it's dividing us, and that's what some of these politicians want. They want us to be divided as far as race goes. They want to divide us and make ourselves go at each other's throats. They want to pit minorities against African Americans, against white people, against Asians. It's crazy. I mean, why the fuck I'm talking about this, but it's a bunch of shit, and all it adds up to is money. It's just a way to make some pockets fat, and then when they get all their money enough, and if they get away with it, then it'll all end. It's like, or it'll get out of hand, like the climate change thing. I heard that they got Al Gore drunk. Somebody did on a podcast. He was drinking whiskey, and they got him all liquored up, and he spilled the beans on how fake climate change and global warming is. It's all a bunch of shit. It's just a big hoax thing. Of course, I knew it was. But like when you're a little kid, it's like when I was little in elementary school, they told us the ozone layer was falling apart. National Geographic had a magazine cover of the Earth. It was one of them, when you moved it one way or the other, it would show this layer of the Earth like shattering like glass and floating into space. And it wasn't true. They're saying, oh, it's because all the aerosol cans. So they started making hairspray in pump cans. And they started making, and they took this one chemical out of aerosol cans and spray paint, hairspray, all that kind of stuff. They took this one chemical out of it, and it saved the ozone layer. It's back. You don't hear nothing about it anymore. And Al Gore, it's just his shit. He said he thought that it would never take off, it would never gain any traction, and now they have climate summits every fucking 6 months. And Paris has a climate accord thing, and it's just stupid. So it's like, come on, you're trying to set my camera down here. It's just big crock shit. So we know it's lies. It's fake, garbage, trash, whatever you want to call it. So, all right. I'm done running my mouth here. Oh boy. It's my bedtime right now. Sorry, everybody. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one.